Good morning, class. I am here today to talk to you about not only scientific discovery, but the story of an amazing scientist, Madame Marie Curie. She, along with her husband, made huge progress in the field of radioactivity and in the scientific community in general. Madame Curie was born in 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, or as it was known, Russia at the time. She was born to two Polish patriots, one of which, her mother, died when Mary was only 10 years old. At the age of 15, Mary graduated high school and attended an underground university because Polish universities did not accept women at the time. However, in 1891, she moved to Paris, France, and attended the Sorbonne. There, she acquired a master's degree in physics and in math. She wanted to do lab work but had no lab. In this search for lab space, she met Pierre Curie, who had a small lab but still had a place for her. It was love at first sight, and they were married within the year. The next year, Mary was intrigued by two new scientific discoveries, one of which, by a man named Röntgen, was the discovery of rays that could pass through flesh and wood. The other, a discovery by a man named Röntgen, by Becquerel, was the discovery that uranium could emit these rays even when not exposed to sun. In her research, she needed an electrometer in order to measure these rays, and luckily her husband had acquired one just a few years before. The electrometer was used to actually put these radioactive waves in measurement. With these, she discovered that radioactivity did not occur outside of the atom or because of the atom, but rather within the atom, which was huge at the time. She also discovered that the higher the concentration of uranium, the higher the radioactivity. She, along with her husband, in this research, also discovered two new elements not known at the time: radium and polonium. Polonium named after her home country, Poland. In recognition of these discoveries, she, along with her husband and Becquerel, were awarded a Nobel Prize. She was the first woman ever to receive this. Tragedy struck, however, in 1906 when Pierre, her husband, was killed in a freak accident with a horse and buggy. She, in a Great Depression, however, continued her research and actually took over his professorship with urge of his sister. Years later, she was awarded with another Nobel Prize in chemistry, however, for the discovery of the two radioactive elements, radium and polonium. As World War I struck, she knew that there was only one X-ray facility for the whole French army. And in order to change that, she needed donations from fellow Frenchmen and from car manufacturers. With this, she developed vehicles to bring to the front line with X-ray equipment. She learned how to drive and how to use these equipment in order to actually work in the front lines. With her, she brought her 17-year-old daughter, who was extremely helpful. After World War I, Mary's health began to deteriorate. However, even though her health was not ideal, she traveled the world and made endless speeches about the importance of radioactivity research and the importance of the actual um, like substance, radium, how much they needed it. She had less than some did, and she was the one that discovered the actual element. In this, she was able to raise money for radioactive research, and she devoted her entire life to science. However, she died of the same elements that she discovered. The radioactivity from radium and polonium killed her.